risk with CISOs is so high. You can do 99% things right and like 1% things go wrong, it still comes to you, right?
I rolled out this phishing testing program back at eBay, and it was Phishme. And eBay, I think, might have been one of the first tech companies that was Phishme customer. We signed the deal. That was Rohyt Belani. It was a big deal. And then it was time to roll it out, and that was my responsibility. And I was doing a test with a small portion of the InfoSec team back then. Someone must have not been having a good day, thought they got scammed and made a big deal about it. It went all the way up to HR, and HR called me and said, you pull a trick like that one more time and you'll get fired. I can't do this anymore. Like, my hamstrung, right?
We mentioned phishing testing earlier. That didn't go well. And I know we have spoke about that on a different occasion. Clearly, the founder, I don't know if you can mention them, made you a champion and you went to bat for it and it didn't work out early on, but you both made it work really, really well. And I know the founder, he's really, really amazing. I mean, I've not met him, but we graduated from the same school. So what did this founder do to make you champion and, risk your career? Like, risk with CISOs is so high. You can do 99% things right and you can do 1% and not even your fault, like 1% things go wrong, it still comes to you, right? And we've seen plenty of cases. What does this founder do to make you such a big champion to bat and go through all of these things that you went through?
I rolled out this phishing testing program back at eBay, and it was Phishme. And Phishme was early days. They were selling mostly to banks, and phishing testing was a common thing at banks, but not in tech, right? eBay, I think, might have been one of the first tech companies that was Phishme customer. We signed the deal. That was Rohyt Belani. It was a big deal. And then it was time to roll it out, and that was my responsibility. And I was doing a test with a small portion of the InfoSec team back then. And I didn't tell anybody that the test was coming. I just did it. And then someone must have not been having a good day, thought they got scammed and made a big deal about it. It went all the way up to HR, and HR called me and said, you pull a trick like that one more time and you'll get fired. And it's like a funny story now, but this is how it was back then. And I remember telling Rohit, like, we have this huge contract. I can't do this anymore. Like, my hamstrung, right? And he basically said, okay, what else can we do for you then? Like, I don't feel good about having taken this from you guys, like, and not being able to deliver anything. And we did some training, communications, and they helped me with all of that. And then I actually became a customer of theirs, probably at 5 other companies after that I went to it. I was a customer at Palo Alto Networks, on and on and on. And every company I've been to, I brought it in. But it's because of the partnership that he had with me and like how we navigated a really difficult situation. And it was bad for him too, because that was supposed to be a case study for him on first non-thinking company doing this, and it totally flopped, right? But he just was a close friend through the process. And I think we learned through it together too, that, hey, Rohit, you need to provide training for people like me on give me the communication like templates and that train me. You can't just go and do this. And we kind of built it together, right? And then that helped probably other customers as well as me in the future.
So Rinki, I think what you highlighted that as startups, things will go wrong with customers. So I'm very curious, how did Rohit handle turning almost, impacting your job to becoming such a good partner that you brought Phishme to 5 different companies? Like, could you share 3-4 points that just every founder in your lockstep portfolio or just coming to you can do when things go wrong?
I screwed up, right? I should have thought about it. I just didn't know, right? I didn't know that I should be telling everybody, hey, we're running a phishing testing program and this is why. And Rohit could have been like, Rinki, you just ran this wrong. Like, you should have asked before. But he came back and he's like, literally, I remember the look on his face. I remember us talking about it, and it was like, he felt worse than I did. He was devastated. And you could tell it's like as if someone gave him that news, not me. And you could feel that energy. And it was like, he came to the table and he's like, here's the thing, everybody's there when everything's going well. Who's there when things are not going well? Those are the people, and how they show up. That is the most important thing, because no vendor's perfect, no startup's perfect, nobody's perfect. How people show up when the imperfect things happen is, I think, one of most things. And just he came to the table and he said, what do you need? Where can I help? And let's work together to make this better. He was willing to throw in other things, and just with true partnership, going back to the human. He cared about me and his relationship with me more than the deal, right? And so I think I was at eBay for 3 years, maybe a little bit more than that. And so we finally did launch it. He didn't ask for a renewal even once on an annual contract. So I had a 3-year contract for basically 2 years free. And finally, when we had a success, we finally in the last year, finally got it out there, and it was a successful program over there that we could show results from. But it took that long, and he never charged me for it.
I think I've sold to quite a few enterprises, and often even when vendor is not at fault, in this case, maybe somebody using the product made a mistake. They would never admit the mistake. And I've had churn unfortunately, for those reasons, right? What you're describing about Rohyt is like a very, very seasoned founder and a human being to understand your pain. But often people are not like you. I can't say that you are a role model for every buyer who's willing to admit this mistake, openly on a podcast, right? So how do you think we manage when people are not like you? Because I have gone through those things personally, right? And we had to manage the situation. And my natural thing is I admit the mistake, but it also works negatively for the founder because the next reference, it's like, the startup screwed up.
Yeah, like when you make a mistake and you own it, I mean, there are some mistakes that the consequences are real and someone might feel like it's not forgivable. And that is the risk of a mistake. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, Abhishek, like you and the team became stronger because of losing that deal and learning from that mistake and making sure it never happens again. And so that's how I kind of think about it. Even if the customer is like, you know what, you guys made this mistake. It was devastating for me. You guys are out. I'm not willing to take that risk again. If the customer is talking to another potential customer, if the other customer says like, hey, did they own up to the problem? At least they can say like they were a true partner. They owned the problem. They owned the mistakes. I can't knock them for that. I was just the one that couldn't take the risk with that, right? But they owned it completely and I'm sure they fixed it. If a mistake is leading to a path that like, look, I can't do business, then that's fine. But like, I think leading with integrity, leading with that is like so important. I say the word vendors, but I think like really the good founders, they're partners. And it feels like a partnership from day one, right? It's like, you're going to be in the throes with me and like, it's going to feel like that. And so even if sometimes that doesn't work out, it was like a partnership through and through.
If we just own and be respectful, this can't happen every time. And there will be people who will be seeing that, and over time it will have large dividends.